Hey everyone, welcome back to another Flowlab tutorial. In this one I'm going to show you how to set up a basic enemy. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go over here and just click and create, and I'm going to go ahead and call this enemy. Oops. And we're going to call it a cat because we're going to make it an evil cat. So we'll go ahead and we'll browse and borrow from the characters, and we'll just go ahead and use this cat here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go to the physics option here, and I'm going to turn on is movable. Okay, and I think I'm going to leave everything else like that. Okay, I'm going to go to the properties again, and I'm going to go up here to let's put the cat down here on the ground. Okay, so now I'm going to go into edit, and I'm going to go into the behaviors of the cat, and I'm going to start off with an always trigger. So this always trigger, what that does is it just keeps going on forever as long as the game is running, and that's probably why they used a battery. And now I'm going to need a number block from the logic and math category, and this is going to set the speed of the enemy moving. So I'll go ahead and hook that up to the in port, and then I'll go ahead and I'll set the speed here. We'll go ahead and just make it 3, and we'll label it. Actually, we'll go ahead and call it cat speed. There we go. And then I need a velocity block. So there we go. And on this one, instead of connecting it to the x-axis, I'm going to connect it to the forward connection right there. Okay, so now if I go ahead and press play, one thing is that because this cat is off camera, when I press play over here, it won't see it. I won't see it until I actually play the game with the character moving around. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is I need to actually get it so that when the cat hits this grass block over here, it flips and goes back in the other direction, and then it'll kind of ping pong between the two. So I'm going to start off with going up here to triggers, and I'm going to create a collision trigger, and I'm going to leave it everything like just any, so it can collide with anything. And I'm going to uncheck top, and I'm going to uncheck bottom, so that way only the left and the right hand side of the cat trigger. Okay, and so now I'm going to go ahead and get a flip block. Let's see, properties, I think. Yep, under properties. Okay, and this time, instead of clicking on flip, which would just flip the sprite, I'm going to choose toggle. So there we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and test that out. Okay, so there you can see the cat is going, and when he hits the other side, he just flips. So there we go. Now, if he hits me, he will flip. So that's obviously not what we want. But now what we want to do, go back. Now what we want to do is we want to enable it so that the cat can harm us, and so that we can then destroy the cat. We can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and set up so the cat can harm the player. So I'm going to go to the player, go to edit, behaviors, and I'm going to go ahead. I already have the player being able to be injured by the spikes. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste some of these just so I don't have to do so much work. So I'm going to come down here and click on the little selection tool, and I'm going to drag a selection around these 3 right here. And I'm going to choose copy. Then I'm going to click in an open spot, and I'm going to choose paste. Now, you might not know it, but they pasted right on top. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to say that it's collision with the enemy cat. And I'm going to say I want the player to be able to jump on the top of the cat, kind of like the classic Mario style, to be able to kill the cat. So I'm going to uncheck top here. Okay, and that's going to let me be able to jump on the cat later to remove the cat, to destroy the cat. So I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to leave the damage at -1, and I'm going to leave my character's health at 3. Okay, so now what I want to do, though, is if I want the damage to be able to show up in my text up here, my label that says health 3, I need to set the output to the value that I already have here in my system here. So now, let's go ahead and try it. So now when my character gets hit, you'll see health went to 2, health went to 1, and health went to 0. Now it's going into the negative numbers, so clearly that's not what we want. We want it to be that when the character's health gets down to 0, that the character then will restart the game. So what I need to do that is actually already have one set up for the spikes, and that's this filter block and the restart game block. So again, I can come over here and click on my selection tool, select both of those, copy it, go to an open spot, paste it, works out pretty well, and just drag it over here to the filter. Okay, so there we go, so that should work. Okay, so the final step is I want to be able to jump on the top of the cat and be able to take out the cat. So I'm going to go over here to the cat's behaviors, and I'm going to set up a collision trigger, and it's going to be with the player. And I want to turn off or uncheck all of these except for the top, because I want it to sense the collision of the top of the cat. And then I'll go find the destroyer block and connect them up. Okay, all right, so hopefully this all works. And of course, while I'm recording, I can't seem to take out the cat. Okay, so there we go. So the cat comes out. Of course, I can go ahead and add in some sound effects for when the cat hits me and some damage sound effects. And of course, when I hit the cat, I can add in some good sound effects as well. Okay, I hope this helps you out. I will be making another enemy tutorial, and the difference in that one is that I'll show you how to set up an enemy that does not need to collide with a block that you can see. I'll show you how to use an invisible block so that way you can really put your characters anywhere or your enemies anywhere, and it gives you a lot more creative freedom. All right, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.